It's the king.
All right. Now, this should have been, it was supposed to be a pre-recorded video, but something's going on with my recording software. So this will be the only live stream of this series. That series is this racism? Is this racism? Because I get tired of people talking about how people playing the victim, always crying about racism, using the race card, pulling the race card. People always want to have discussions about scenarios where people accuse others of racism or being racist when there's no proof or evidence of that person or people being racist. You always want to deal with those scenarios, right? But what about the cases where it is definitely about race? You never hear certain people talking or going over those scenarios, having those discussions. Well, we're going to have them here in this series. Now, y'all remember this stabbing. This was uploaded a year ago, happened in Toronto. And I didn't even notice. They actually interviewed this guy. And all across the media, they're hailing him as a victim. Stabbing victim. Grateful to survive. Victim. Look at this. Stabbing victim. That's all you see is victim. The video that I'm showing you, look at the title. Man gets stabbed on TTC subway by thug. Let out on bail. Now, he wasn't let out on bail and then stabbed this guy. He was let out on bail after he stabbed him. And the whole comment section is infuriated about it. But this white guy just walked up to him and attacked him. That's flat out what happened. But listen to this guy's side of the story.
Can you tell us what happened just before the video begins?
Yep, so I entered the subway here at North York Center. I was on my way to the beach. He got on at Lawrence Station. I was facing the front of the train, so I saw him walk on to my left, and he looked up and down, looked me right in the eyes, and started to walk right towards me. He was playing rap music on his cell phone, holding it right to his ear at full blast. It was quite a loud phone, very trebly and annoying, and he sat right behind me, and it was playing right in my ear. So I just turned and I said, hey man, do you mind turning that off? You're not supposed to.
Now let's stop there. If it's actually a rule, and that's what he said. He says it's a rule you're not allowed to play loud music like that.
Playing that on the subway, and I don't think...
On the subway. But even if there isn't a rule, it's disrespectful to have a phone playing loud music, whatever kind of music. He added in that it was rap music. But to just have it playing on your phone at blast, especially if it was quiet on the train. I don't know the environment on the train, okay? But me personally, I wouldn't do that. I put the headphones in. Be respectful to people around you, okay? So I can co-sign with that. And I co-sign with asking them to turn it, man, could you please turn that down, especially if you sit behind me. If what this guy is saying is the truth, you're going to sit right behind me playing that music. Okay, but he said they locked eyes or whatever. So I'm thinking there was some tension already. He even says, he refers to them locking eyes as what he thought was antagonizing. Listen to him.
I think the people around really appreciate it. And he ignored me at first. So I asked him again. And he basically said, I can't hear you. So I said, well, maybe if you turned it down, you could, right? I'm just trying to have a dialogue with him. I can tell he's being, trying to be a tough guy. I felt like he was trying to antagonize me right off the bat, just for the sake that he met eyes with me as he walked.
See? He was trying to antagonize me just because he locked eyes with me, made eye contact with me. You was looking at him too, right? Listen to that.
Up, and then I felt like he was trying to antagonize me right off the bat, just for the sake that he met eyes with me as he walked up and then
Has he met eyes with you? Man, can y'all see this screen? Because I had a... Okay, hopefully y'all can see the screen. Because I just had a video where a whole pre-recorded video, and I couldn't see. This whole screen was black. That's why I'm live now. I don't know if something was wrong. Hopefully y'all can see it though.
directly behind me. Me tell he's being, trying to be a tough guy. I felt like he was trying to antagonize me right off the bat, just for the sake that he met eyes with me as he walked up and then sat directly behind me. So I just...
And he sat behind you? Okay. That sounds weird. Because look at the position he was in before he attacked him. That's not what it looked like, but okay.
Went on to ask him again, look, buddy, there's rules against this stuff on the train. You're not supposed to be playing it. Would you turn it off? And he looked at me and he said, suck your mom. My mom actually just passed away in May, on May 21st.
Suck your mom? Okay. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he said, this is in Toronto, so this guy was not FBA. But that sounds like a weird thing, even for an immigrant. Whatever he may have been, Haitian or whatever. Suck your mom? Okay, buddy.
She was my last surviving close family member.
Oh, you hear that?
Just passed away. And he looked at me and he said, suck your mom. My mom actually just passed away in May, on May 21st.
Whoa. Let me check everything. Gotta make sure. Okay, we should be good.
My last surviving close family member. It was really hard for me, and I had just finished taking care of all the stuff in terms of cremation and clearing out her apartment.
So he's trying to justify why he walked up to him and socked him in the face. Why he walked up to him and attacked him, basically. Oh, he said, suck your mom. My mom just passed away. Oh, okay, dude. Sound like a lie.
Stuff in terms of cremation and clearing out her apartment. It was one of my first days. I finally had some freedom, actually. July 4th is when I had finished with all those things, and this occurred on July 6th. So that really that hit me hard, and I said to him, what? And he repeated it. And the both times he said it, he just gave me the biggest, most sinister grin you've ever seen.
Biggest, most sinister grin you've ever seen. And then Rebel News Canada goes to a blurry still image of him with, look at how black and evil he looks. Oh, now if you ask me, this is just straight up in your face, blatant dirtbag racism. If you ask me, that's what this looks like to me. I mean, really?
You explain
Wait a
why
minute.
you...
He just gave me the biggest, most sinister grin you've ever... What? And
Gave me
he
the
repeated it.
biggest,
And
gave me the biggest, most sinister grin. So I had to walk up to him and punch him, attack him. And listen to how articulate he is. Most people listening, they will take his side.
Both times he said it, he just gave me the biggest, most sinister grin you've ever seen.
Can you explain why you found it necessary to slug him?
So after he said suck your mom twice, I knew, wow, this guy's really trying to instigate a fight here. I didn't feel safe. And so I stood up to take a look at him. And as I looked, his hands were reaching into his pockets.
You stood up to take a look at him? No, he didn't. He was seated the whole time. And if he did stand up, and his hands not even, his fingertips in his pockets. You stood up and started walking towards him. You were the aggressor. You attacked him and got poked up. Now you trying to play the victim? Listen, this is crazy.
So I stood up to take a look at him. And as I
stood up to take a look at him.
His hands were reaching into his pockets. So at that point,
You see, his fingertips are in his pockets. No, this is just a lunatic dirtbag. That's what this is. A lunatic vigilante, violent dirtbag who probably took 2 or 3 MMA or boxing classes. He's taller, bigger than this other guy. Just being a degenerate, demonic little devil. That's all this was. Watch me stand up to him. Oh, it's only one black guy on this train. Oh, watch this. You dirtbag. And now everybody, listen to this.
I stood up to take a look at him, and as I looked,
So I,
fight here, I
so,
didn't feel
so I
safe.
stood up to take a look at him. Stood up to take a look at him. But that don't even make sense. You idiot.
And so I stood up to take a look at him, and as I looked, his hands were reaching into his pockets. So at that point, I decided, do I let him pull out whatever he's got? Who knows if it was a gun or a knife or whatever, or do I start trying to defend myself before I get injured? So I did. I threw the first punches, and
Wow.
At first he pulled.
Wow. He straight up walked up on this guy and attacked him. And you big dummy, why would you do that when you yourself are unarmed? Why wouldn't you suspect that he's armed and you're not? You idiot. You thought that highly of yourself?
Pulled his hands out and didn't have a knife in his. So I did. I threw the gun or a knife or whatever, or do I start trying to defend myself before I get injured? So I did. I threw the first punches, and at first he pulled his hands out and didn't have a knife in his hand. So I thought he was bluffing. He has no knife. So I gave him some space so we could have a fair fight. And sure enough, that's when he pulled out the knife.
Wow. Is that a regrettable moment in the incident? The fact that you backed off, allowing him to arm himself?
Ooh, you hear that? Where you at, Anton? Where you at, white supremacists? You vloggers, you white nationalists, where y'all at? He just asked him, do you regret backing up off of him after you attacked him in self-defense? Let's back that up.
The fact.
The knife.
Wow. Is that a regrettable moment in the incident? The fact that you backed off?
You backed off after defending yourself, after this thug attacked you. Oh, and you were Superman in there, fighting off the villain thug. And then you backed off. Even though you were winning, you backed off. And he armed himself. Wow.
Allowing him to arm himself.
Absolutely. I should have just stayed on him. The whole thing is the Canadian law system.
I should have stayed on him, dude. Yeah, you're not gonna get me, buddy. Dude, straight up walked up to him and attacked him. Even if he was playing loud music, you have no right to just walk up to nobody and start attacking them. I've been on trains and buses. A lot of times it's kids got little games playing. You're in a public place. Nobody sweating no loud phone. Not like that. But if it was a quiet environment, again, I could understand objecting to that. But now this dude is just lying, and we got a whole bunch of racism and white privilege going around. Now, is this racism? Huh? No, let's listen to more.
Is atrocious when it comes to self-defense or anything like on him. The whole thing is
Allowing him to arm himself.
absolutely. I should have just stayed on him. The whole thing is the Canadian law system is atrocious when it comes to self-defense or anything like that. So, I have knockout power, but I didn't want to use it because what if I killed him, right? I don't want to.
You dweeb. You did try to knock him out. I got knockout power. No, he just ate your shots. He ate your shots. You thought you was going to knock him out. And he poked you up. I have knockout power. You can see how full of himself he is. And if you listen to the video, you can hear him talking. What up? You ain't got shit, bro. You ain't got shit, bro. He was saying that during the fight. This is just an arrogant dirtbag. Look at him. Shoes with the sole of the shoes all smashed up. He's stepping, ain't got no socks. This dude all bummy and trashy out here. Because he white, he got the whole world behind him.
To jail. So I was kind of just trying to pepper him until the train would come to the next station and I could run.
I was just trying to pepper him. I'm gonna just pepper you, dude. And everybody's calling this guy a victim. It's disgusting. Now look at this. It gets worse. They said, wait a minute. Is this the same one? Look at this. Okay. Oh, this is a different one. I think this is a different one. Yeah, this is a different one. No, I read one where they said that he was walking out or like he was stepping out. They got conflicting stories. Do your research on this case. And put the shoes on the other foot. If a black dude walked up to a white dude like that and just attacked him, and the white dude then got the upper hand, because you got to understand that vigilante energy would have kicked in at that moment. Just look at the optics. Try to picture it in your head. A black so-called thug, and even though this guy was attacked, the black dude was attacked, they still called him a thug. He's standing there with his hands in the hands. You can stand there with your hands in your pocket. That makes you less of a threat. He's standing there. This dude walks up, attacks him, and he still get called a thug just because he got the upper hand. But if the shoes are on the other foot, and that was a black dude who just walked up to a white dude and started throwing punches, especially after knocking his glasses off, knocking his hat off, humiliating the white guy. If the white guy then stabbed him up, poked him up, they call that self-defense. Because things like this happen and the black guy gets shot, they call it self-defense. The Daniel Penny, all of this stuff. And that was even worse. That the guy wasn't even attacking him. So y'all always want to have these discussions. You always want to have these discussions of black Americans crying foul, calling racism, screaming racism, when really there ain't no racism. Okay, y'all got 1,000,001 stories like that. My question is, why don't we ever hear y'all talking about the cases when there is racism popping off? How come y'all totally silent on those reports, those stories? It's because you just ain't got it in you. You ain't got it in you to deal with stories like that for whatever reason. Be honest. It don't take... Y'all just don't want to... That's cowardice. That's what it is. Spinelessness. And it's worthy of a whole series. Y'all deserve a series. Because y'all trying to pander to these white nationalists. The white nationalist crowd. You see, you can get a lot of clicks being a black person doing this or a white person. And it's not just black and white people who get into this. We know that all too well. These people come in here with this energy, this same type of energy. I'm telling you, all enemies to black Americans do stuff like this. They do stuff like this. And just because this guy is a little articulate, the whole world is behind him. If y'all look at this, I'm going to share a link to this too. Be sure to check out the comment section. They're saying that this guy was defending himself all throughout the comment section and complaining that the attack victim defended himself and had the aggressor running, screaming for help. And look at this. Look at this. I applaud this man for attempting to clean up Canada's trash problem. The trash problem are politics. Yeah. Now they're having an all-out lynching in the comment section. Look at this. Someone yelling help and nobody does a thing. What a great community. They're all on that white guy's side. I'm like, what? I don't care if somebody is playing music, dude. I don't want to hear no sob story about your mama, him saying, suck your mama. You don't walk up to people and just attack them. Is this even a discussion? This ain't even no debate. I refuse to have a debate with anybody over this. You crazy? This dude was standing in one spot. The attack victim standing in one spot. The only one taking steps was the white boy. What y'all want to talk about? You want to examine who the aggressor was? This dude sitting up here lying on camera, telling us we seeing something that we don't. I stood up to take a look at him. What do you mean you stood up to take a, you idiot? If you could see him when you were sitting down, there's no need to stand up. The only reason you would stand up is if you wanted to attack him. And you wanted to let him know that you about to become aggressive. So you stood up. We stood up to take a look at him. You idiot. What are you talking about? That sounds so foolish and nonsensical. But yet they all are on code with them. This is why there is a very interesting conflict going on with Tariq Nasheed and his followers right now in his support of Jay-Z. And I see good points on both sides. Tariq has a strong point, needs to stay on code, but the other side has a very strong point. We need to hold these rappers accountable who have helped to destroy our youth and our own minds at this point, and help to motivate and glorify degeneracy and keep it alive, pushing the Baphomet agenda in Black America, what Prodigy called him out for. That's a whole different video. But the grassroots have a very strong point, and I need the grassroots to articulate themselves better. Don't just say these people are bad. What was that guy saying on the call? These billionaires like Diddy and Jay-Z, these are bad people. These are evil people. Don't just say that. Because I really don't care if the dudes worship Baphomet and all this kind of stuff. Dude, do what you want to do behind closed doors. I only have a problem when you start to motivate, especially through music, the youth to get involved in killing each other and being involved in lifestyles that lead them to prison or early grave. That's when we have a right to say, to object. Okay, so real good stuff going on over on Tariq Nasheed. And Tariq does have a point, because you notice a trend of Black celebrities being targeted, even though there's just as many, if not more, white celebrities involved in the same activities. And we know what activities there are that we're talking about. Is what Jay-Z is charged with. All of Hollywood. There ain't nothing Diddy and Jay-Z involved in that the rest of Hollywood ain't involved in. But there seems to be a targeting of Black males. And you have to consider the fact that this is targeting. Why aren't these people involved in these things popping up equally? Right? So I think it's too early to really call it. I'm going to give Tariq a chance, because I think this sort of pushes Tariq to acknowledge the destructiveness in our own culture. And it's really foreign. It's not our culture. That gangster rap, that drill nonsense, it's not original to us. It's not something that originated from us. It was put into our mouths, and then they glorified them gangster rappers and put trillions, gazillions of dollars behind them, promotion behind them, put them on the radio. Y'all gonna listen to this. Y'all gonna believe that this is actually your culture, right? It's a sport. And even back then, you had a lot of Black Americans saying, hey, y'all looking at killing each other as a sport. See, back then, we were saying that metaphorically. And eventually, what would they start doing? Keeping score on bodies. But I don't want to digress here. Don't want to be here too long. You tell me, is this racism?